Hello, beautiful Aries. I'm Jenny with Cosmic Gypsy Tarot, and I'm here for your April 2020 tarot card reading. This is a brand new channel, so if what I have to offer resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe, and keep checking back because I'm going to be offering a lot of different videos on the kinds of things that have helped me stay strong in my body and in my mind and spiritually in order to kind of get through these crazy, freaky, weird, intense times. So, and hopefully they will be helpful to you. Things like working with plant medicine, meditation, yogic practices, breathing techniques, all these things that you can do to help kind of get yourself back to where you need to be when anxiety starts setting in or when you're trying to recover from trauma, anything like that. So that is my intention, and I have a lot of videos to film over the course of the next month, so please do keep checking back. So I did a pre-shuffle and prayer before I started this, trying to sort of catch the vibe of what you're going through for the month of April, Aries. And I should also just say that if you happen to be catching this at some other time, or you're not in Aries, not to worry. I'm sure there's a message in here for you. We sort of, the universe has a way of directing us to what we need at any given moment. So if you have stumbled upon this video, perhaps there is something here for you as well. All right, so let's check in with your overall energy for the month of April. Vulture energy. Now, I know this isn't the most beautiful thing to look at. Like, vultures typically are not the most beautiful thing to look at, but they are absolutely critical for restoring and maintaining, and then but they are absolutely responsible for maintaining balance in the physical world. And so this energy, vulture energy, is really a reminder that when things are kind of fucked up like they happen to be right now, that whatever is happening for the greater good. And so, for example, right now, the entire world is dealing with the coronavirus. And as horrible as it is, and as unsettling and scary and sad as it is, so many people around the world are dying. This virus does carry with it vulture energy. It is not easy to look at, but it is absolutely critical. There's so many systems in place that are not working right now, and the foundation needed to be absolutely ripped up in order to restore. So it's actually right on point for what's going on, Aries. So don't lose faith. It's just a great equalizer. This is just trying to get us to a place where we're more connected with the earth, where we are able to actually have time with ourselves and with our immediate family, our immediate surroundings, no matter what that happens to be, whether it's your house, whether it's your pets, whether it's your children. It's an opportunity to be grateful for the things that we have. It's also an opportunity to not rely so much on external stimulation. And so things have gotten so noisy over the last many years with all of the distractions and all of the technology that we're using. We have lost our ability to hear ourselves think, and it is harder and harder to stay connected with our soul and with the wisdom that is wanting to come through all the time. So this is an opportunity to connect back in to your wisdom, to your internal wisdom, to the collective consciousness, and get yourself back on track. So while what's happening right now is scary and gross and awful, it is absolutely necessary. And I know that many of you out there are feeling that as well. So yeah, I actually love that Animal Spirit deck by Kim Krans. It's amazing, and it always seems to be like right on point. So I'll put the link in the description below for that deck. And now I am, for your reading, I'm working with the Light Seers Tarot. This is a new deck for me and I connected with it immediately and I'm so excited to share it with you. The images are just absolutely beautiful and it's like the cards are just sort of screaming at you what they want to say. So I appreciate that a lot about this deck, and I'll also link to that in the description below. And here we go. Cards are flying everywhere. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. So what I'm seeing right now for you, Aries, is that you have been stuck in a lot of anxiety. There is a real desire for you, just because of your nature, to want to be the superhero and want to like be able to leap into action. And your inability to do that right now is causing you a lot of heartache and also a lot of anxiety. This is like totally like keeping you up at night. You may be wondering what you can do to help, like seeking ideas, and frustrated that you feel like there's nothing that you can actually do to help, but that's actually not true. There are ways that you can help, even if you are staying at home right now and you're not able to leave to get out in your community to help. That doesn't matter. You are powerful staying at home and sending your prayers out, like envisioning, manifesting the kind of future that you want this world to create right now. And if you are able to spend time doing that, then you will be manifesting what you are intending. And so Eight of Wands, we'll get to this in a second. Can you see it? It's so beautiful. Eight of Wands, there is a light at the end of the tunnel for this, but right now it's just really effing hard and scary and confusing. Anyways, what I was saying was you're so much more powerful than you've given yourself credit for. You have actually been putting your sense of self-worth has really been tied into what you've been able to do, not who you are, right? And so when your sense of worth is based on, you know, the projects that you've been involved in, or how you're sort of like always at the rescue for your friends and your family, the one who is always there, ready to jump into action, like at a moment's notice, you are putting your self-worth on the things that you do. Excuse me for a second. But your real worth is who you are. And that is the gift that you've come to really share with this world. No one else is like you. And I don't want to get all hokey about it, but it's true. And this is a really good time to remember that. I was at an ayahuasca ceremony in Peru a few years back, and I kept asking, like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Like, what is this all about? Like, are you sure I'm supposed to be here? This doesn't feel quite right. What am I supposed to do? You know, what am I supposed to do? And the answer, as annoying as it was, that kept coming to me was, you just have to be. You don't have to do anything. Your presence is enough. So even if you sit there and you have nothing to say to someone, even if you sit there in an intentional way and be with them, you are offering them a greater gift than you could ever even imagine. Justice. Right, this goes back to the vulture energy that I was just talking about. There is balance that is being restored, and life is simply mirroring us at the same way that we mirror life. And so there is a darkness that has been allowed to, I don't want to say prevail, but it's sort of been at the forefront over time. And now that balance is shifting, and so there will be more and more light coming to the surface, and you are part of that light. The fire energy that you bring to this time is what is leading everyone to the light. And so don't lose hope. You are here on a mission. So easy to forget that. What's going on with the Six of Swords? We'll get back to that one in just a second. Yeah, it's like there's so much turmoil in your immediate environment with the Six of Swords that it's making you feel like you want to escape. There have been times where you have actually been, and this is not true for everyone, obviously not everything can resonate for everyone, but the anxiety that you've been feeling, and I'm sorry to keep going back to that, but that's what keeps coming through. The anxiety that you've been feeling has actually been making you feel physically ill. Like there's been a lot of like nausea that some of you out there are going through just because like your emotions have been so high. And so, yeah, I just keep having to remind you that this is part of it. This is part of the cycle, and it's absolutely necessary for right now in order for justice to prevail. The sun. So this will be the outcome for sure. I mean, the sun will be shining on all of us, and there will be a new way of being in the world. This may take time, but that sun fire energy will have you celebrating and looking back on this moment and looking back on this anxiety and this fear and this nausea and seeing, see, I told you that there was a light at the end of this tunnel, that justice would prevail. You'd be feeling the warmth and the radiance that you had forgotten about when things seemed so like dark and cold. Very nice. I like it. I like it. It's a good reminder. King of Cups. So for some of you, there may be a water sign in your life or this could be you needing to connect to your emotions and not run from them. Actually, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to be able to sit with what you're feeling and sit with the discomfort and try to get to the root of what's going on. And so there is an opportunity for you to master some emotions that have sort of been haunting you over time, that have kind of come up as cycles over and over and over again in your life, but you kind of just kept like putting it off. This is the time to work through those fears and see how they've been playing out over and over and over again in your life. And that's what's going to lead you to peace. That is what will lead you to this new way of being there. You're being asked to be okay to sit with the discomfort. And trust that no matter what, like the universe, sorry about that. The universe is always working together for everyone's good. And that seems like an impossible thing that could happen, but it's absolutely true. King of Wands, fire energy. Look at that lion in the background. You have to be brave. You have to understand the power that you have inside of you. You have to be able to connect with that courage in order to make it through this time. You have to be brave to sit with emotions and feelings and situations that are uncomfortable. We are absolutely programmed to seek pleasure and to run away from the things that are bothering us, right? But that is definitely stopping your evolution for some of you at this time. And I think that you have forgotten how strong you are. So it's time to reconnect with that again. You've seen examples of your strength and your courage in the past, but because you've been feeling scared, you have lost your connection to that fire, leaving you all bleh. Aries, life is like, hey man, you're fucking awesome. You are so much stronger than you think. Don't lose hope. It's all going to work out. And I know that's, even as I say it, it kind of annoys me. It's like, you know, I don't mean that like some new age bullshit hyperbabble. Like this, it truly is like, so many of us have felt this. We knew that this was coming. We knew that there would be a time where things were pretty effed up, and that it would be even more important at that moment than ever to connect with the divine, to connect with our soul, and to recreate our lives in a different way. But we can only do that if we're connected. So now's the time. Three of Wands, more fire energy. You know, you are looking out at this situation, looking out over this expanse and like wanting to put your board in the water. You're like, please let me get out there and surf this wave. Like, I got to be able to do something. I got to be able to do something. Well, there is something that you can do. Like I said, you can sit and work through your shit. It's not always fun, but it is the best and the deepest work that we can do. Page of Wands, more fire energy. Your fire is really trying to come out. The hero in you is really wanting to shine right now. And I think if you remember your wisdom, your courage, your bravery, remember the fire that lives inside of you, and understand that justice will prevail, balance will be restored. Then you'll be able to really jump in that water like full force and with a new confidence, with a new kind of courage. It's like the kind of courage that you have the power to not only rise above every situation that you're faced with, but sculpt and mold that situation so that it works out for the benefit of all people. All right, let's get one more from this deck. Ooh. Queen of Pentacles. Yes, you will be sitting on your throne. You are definitely going to be successful in whatever it is that you are working on beyond this month. However you are manifesting this earth, this new way of being for yourself, and this new way of being for yourself doesn't, it's like sitting in those watery emotions, that doesn't put out your fire. There is so much power in your emotions. You know, there's a lot of fuel that lives inside the difficult emotions, and so you should be able to come through this with a level of a deeper peace than you've ever had in your life, because you know, it's like it's trying to like come, it's like, you know, that these cycles are absolutely working in the highest good. And that's, I guess that's like, for lack of a better word, it is the highest good of all. Okay. So let us get a little wisdom from the moon, Moonology Oracle cards. See what you need to know to help you connect with your courage and face those difficult emotions. And typically that's surrounding root chakra issues. It's your sense of security. It's your sense, there is a feeling of not having enough. And it's like you've forgotten that there is infinite abundance in the universe. And so when you think that there's like really nothing that can be done, there's like no, you don't have any options, there's no way that what you need is going to get to you, those things are totally going to be coming for you like at lightning speed. So let's see what the moon has to say about that, if you're feeling like this is like an impossible state to get to. The energy is gaining momentum. So especially with this moon right now, this moon actually is in your sign, Aries. Now, I'm not an astrologist, but I do follow the lunar cycles, and I'm trying to learn more about astrology because I love the interplay of all of these technologies. It's just so freaking amazing how everything works together. But yeah, so there is this sort of like heightened level of like angst that's sort of out there. And so you have to be able to surf that energy in order to get you to where you need to be, right? You have to be able to ride those most difficult waves, knowing that at the end of that ride, there is going to be peace. Right. And that's sometimes what it feels like when you're sitting with those difficult emotions. Let's get one more. Balance spirituality and practicality. So I'm not sure who that's for, but there are some of you out there who, yeah, it's like you don't want to get like all caught up in the sort of like new age optimism. And I totally don't blame you for that. Like there's a lot of spiritual bypassing that can happen when that's the case. And so your Aries nature really wants to take the practical route and do, right? And so now there is this call to sort of balance your action, your actual physical action, like what you're putting out into the world, with your inner world. So I like that. That's a good message. All right, let's get one more. This is one of my favorite decks. It's called Sacred Rebels. Can you see that? There's a lot of glare. Sacred Rebels, and it's by Alana Fairchild. I think that's how you say her name. Her artwork and her messages are just beyond. I mean, it is God. It's amazing. It has been, ever since I got it, like my very favorite deck, and I highly recommend it to anybody out there. And one of the things that I love so much about this deck, God, I should review this at some point, but it gives you actual like practices that you can do in order to connect. And so I'll read that to you as well, because I want you to be able to take advantage of that. I don't want you to miss any of the amazing messages that come through these images and this guidebook. Okay, follow your own rhythm. This is beautiful. You need to like have trust that your soul is whispering to you, and you have to be able to follow that little spark of inspiration. And it may not always look like what the world thinks it should look like. And there are some of you out there who might have been a little bit worried to follow your own rhythm, and look, it just opens right up to it. So I'm going to read this to you. This is going to take a minute because they're a little bit lengthy, but like I said, I don't want you to miss out on so much wisdom that she has. So it says, deep within you, you are moved by an ancient, powerful force that cannot be tamed. That is your fire energy, Aries. It is the rising pulse of your connection to the life force. You feel it in your bones, in your blood, in your heart, and in your belly. When there is something dying within, you sense it falling away, no longer needed. You sense when it is time to rest and be patiently in transition. You feel, that's that balance, spirituality and practicality, knowing when to sit and knowing when to move. You feel the stirring of agitation and restlessness. When new life calls you to create, to act, to step forward, and to take a risk. You know that you march to your own beat, that no one else can tell you what your inner rhythms are, and that you must trust your own timing. You cannot be rushed or forced, nor can you be held back when it is time to burst forth. Life celebrates and supports the natural rise and fall of your inner rhythms. This oracle brings you the special message that you cannot miss what you are destined for, nor will you gain anything by trying to push yourself. Trust in the life cycles within, and you will feel the perfect balance between effort and surrender, discipline and letting go. When it is time for the rhythm of rest, you will feel a natural slowing down within and be drawn into contemplation and environments that are more gentle, spacious, and nourishing, and perhaps more peaceful. When the rhythm of play beats in your heart, you will reach out to others to connect, to dance, to converse, sing, make music, make love, and share your wildness. You'll be drawn to uplifting groups and places where you can experience a positive, energetic exchange. Your needs will be met in harmony with your own rhythm. All that you will miss out on by trusting this is anxiety. What you will gain is peace. If you have also pulled the inner trust card, which we haven't, so I'm going to skip over that. So here's the healing process for you. So close your eyes and say out loud, I now release any unhealthy attachment to structures, routines, and belief systems of others that are preventing me from accessing and honoring my inner sacred rhythms. May I be assisted through unconditional love to know the truth of my own timing. I love myself enough to give myself rest when needed, to trust in my own timing and not feel forced or rushed. I believe in myself enough to take healthy, inspired risks and action when the timing feels right to me. I trust in my inner rhythms. They are wise and helpful. Through unconditional love, so be it. You may now wish to stand up and close your eyes. Be aware of your own energy. What does it feel like right now? What does your body want? Is it time to move, to curl up in a ball and rest, or to perhaps open your arms and dance around the room with joy? Perhaps you would like to give yourself a reassuring hug. Take a moment now to do what is needed for yourself based on your feelings. If this is easy for you, great. And if it is hard for you to know what it is that you need, even more wonderful. This means that you are opening to learning something new about loving yourself, and it will become easier with practice. And I could not agree more, Aries. The ability to listen to what you are wanting at any time is one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves. If we learn to listen to what our physical body wants, to how our body wants to move, what our body wants to eat, what our body needs, when our body needs to rest, all of those things, then life just becomes so much more joyous, and we are surrounding ourselves in love because we're nurturing ourselves and giving to ourselves what we know that we needed. And that inner guidance is going to guide you, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all the other O's. So I hope this has been helpful for you, Aries. Check back in with me next month, or check out some of the other videos. If this one didn't resonate with you, you might want to also check your moon, rising, or Venus signs, especially your rising sign. That is often the most helpful because it has to deal with your outer experience in the world, like how others are, sort of how you're showing up in the world as yourself. So anyways, much love to you all, and I'll see you soon.